Merry Christmas and welcome everybody to the Bombshells laboratory review for the Keith's Fantasy Club Opticlones. I got these guys for Christmas and I really wanted to get a review for them out as fast as I could because I really like them. We'll have a few more unboxings coming. I've still got a few guys on the way from what I've heard. But as of right now, this is what I've got. So, I'm going to go over this guy in 6 categories as per usual. The aesthetics of the alt mode, like you can see here. The transformation into robot mode. The aesthetics of the robot mode. A few little points of engineering that I think are neat in the transformation. The articulation, and then finally I'll go over the accessories that he comes with. And then at the end I'll give a few final thoughts and feelings about him. And a few final thoughts to close out the year too, I think. Alright, here we go. Getting into this guy's aesthetics here in alt mode. And he is their version of a Masterpiece G1 Reflector. He's about to scale with a normal, actual, real-life camera. He looks pretty nice. His back doesn't like to tab in super well all the time. But if you can get it all lined up right, and I have done it before, I promise, then it does actually look pretty good, honestly. A few of the tabs here are a little bit loose for alt mode, but nothing super horrible at all. All things considered, he looks really good, you know? He's got, I don't have the batteries in him, but he's got some gimmicks. He's got a button you can push here, and you can replace that with this, so that it looks like you're moving the film across, or along as you're, like, taking your pictures. He's got, sounds that he makes, too, if you put the batteries in him, so that when you press the button, it makes a noise. I think he's got some lights, too. I don't know. All around, nice looking, really chunky. If you can get everything tabbed together well, then he is actually a pretty nice little camera guy. Getting into transformation here, and the first thing we're going to do is carefully here wiggle this out. It's a little bit tight, so I try to be a little extra careful with it and take this part off the front. Then we can untab them from each other. They're just tabbed in between there, you can see. And we can start in on these. So the first thing, I'm going to start with the middle one. Fold out the sides here, and fold down the legs, pull the arms out, put those all the way down, fold this in, fold this around first, and this in, fold this around, get all that tabbed in, and fold that down, and then bring the foot up like so. Get all that flattened out there. Get this piece folded up here. Get this flipped around. And you'll want to fold in these pieces on the inside. Do all the same things on the other side, of course. The legs will be the same on all of these guys, but the upper body is a little bit different depending on whether or not you're transforming the middle one or the two on the outside. Get that flipped around, and get this flipped in, and closed up, get that folded down, get his foot folded out here, get this flap here folded up, his heel folded out. We're already well on our way. So, untab these, fold in these pieces here, right? You're gonna fold that up and then out like that. You're gonna want to lift your arm up here so that you can get this around, because you got to get that. You have to get that around. We're going to fold this down and then close these up. Fold that down, and then fold this whole thing, come on, in like that. And then fold these edges in. There's his backpack. Then come up here, fold his hands out, and just like that, we've got our middle guy. Alright, getting into these side guys here, we're going to start out the same way by opening these side panels. Come on. Those are just tabbed in there. Start to fold these out a little bit here because they're tabbed in. And then we're going to do the same thing with the legs that we did on the other side. So, real quick here, just get your toe flipped around. Get your heel flipped out. Get this bit flipped in here. Get this around. That'll hook in there, so you will kind of have to flex a little bit of plastic. It's not super comfortable, but it's also not the worst engineering I've ever seen from a KFC or X-Transbots figure. So, like, I think these guys are actually pretty nice. Honestly, I'm really pleased with them. For a budget masterpiece Reflector, you know, 100 and I think 30, 140 bucks, something. Maybe even less than that. Like, I don't remember in the moment exactly how much we got them for, because it's been a little while since they were ordered in. But get that leg in there. Get these front bits folded. Oh, come on. Get these front bits folded forward here. Maybe. If I can do it. Come on. There we go. There's that side. That flipped around there so that it sits nice and flush. Same on the other side. And now we can deal with the backpack again. So this side's a little bit different than the other, than the middle bot. I don't plan on transforming both of these side bots on camera. Just the one. But I'm hoping that this will give you guys a good idea of what it's like transforming both of them. So you want to make sure that these can flip. You see, like that? Because on the outside they need to sit like this, but on the inside you need them to sit like that. See? You can fold these down. Like that. And in. And, oh, and fold these bits at the bottom in too. Almost forgot about that part. Come on. And then that should all plug in, actually. And then we fold his fists out. And once we're done with him, we do the same to the other side. And it is all around pretty simple. Like, in a lot of ways, honestly, the most complicated part of them is the feet. The feet are kind of a pain in the butt. There's your other one. All right, there we've got our KFC Opticlones. They look really nice together. A couple quick notes on the engineering here as I'm getting into the aesthetics that I think is kind of neat. I like how it's got lights and sounds, even though it's 3 guys. Like, it's kind of neat that they could take the electronics and spread it across them. I've heard that it's kind of a pain in the butt to get the batteries in, but I still think it's neat. You know, I think that it's cool that you don't have any visible head syndrome, because I know that the Fans Toys one has some of that, and that kind of bothers me with reflectors. So it's nice, you know, to have a set that doesn't have that. Going on into their aesthetics specifically, and honestly, they look like they've kind of jumped from the screen in a lot of ways. Their colors are really nice. Bring in one of the outside bots in here, and that foot actually cleans up a lot nicer than I thought it was gonna. The side profile is really nice, you know, the colors are all really well done. He's got die-cast feet, which I appreciate, you know, keep them weighed down. The backpack, while a little bit large, is screen accurate, so I can't be all that angry. Bringing in our middle bot here, and looking at him a little bit. He's also just as good looking, I'd argue. He does have one issue, which I'll get into here in a minute. But honestly, in terms of just look, he looks great. He looks incredible. You know, nice visor on the middle. And I want to say that you can put something on that, but I could be wrong. Again, the backpack is screen accurate, but you're kind of seeing the issue happen in real time. They look really nice, though. They look really good. Aesthetically speaking, yeah, they're very jump from the screen, you know? Jumping into articulation here, and it's the same with all of them, but I'm gonna be doing the middle guy here because he's got a few little things with him that are a little odd. So starting at the top, you've got a full 360 at the head. Looks up pretty far because of transformation, and down a little bit. His head keeps coming out, though, which is a little... Or his face keeps coming out, though, which is a little weird, because they don't come with, like, replacement faces or anything. It just keeps coming out. Swivel at the shoulder, which is on friction, as well as an out on friction, but it's pretty good. It can hold his guns, I'm pretty sure, which I have not shown yet, but we'll get to it. He's got a double bend at the elbow, kind of, but because of how it's engineered, it really is only a single bend that you can do in different places, more than it is anything else. His backpack doesn't plug in. As far as I can tell, I might be doing something wrong, but as far as I can tell, his backpack just doesn't plug in. And I'll be honest, it's kind of annoying. Oh, unless I just got it fixed here on camera, in which case I guess it does plug in. I'm wrong. Opening hands, no individually articulated fingers, but that's pretty normal for a bot this size. He's not super big, you know. They are bigger than I expected, but not by a whole bunch. A ratcheted waist swivel, which goes pretty far. Realistically goes full 360 if you get the backpack out of the way. Legs go forward to there, which is pretty good, and back to here, all the way on a ratchet. They go out really far there, and you can see that ankle pivot. They can get the full action hero, you know. Knees go back to there on a ratchet. There's also a second knee joint that's for transformation, but the ratchet is for articulation. Feet go forward and back really far, and the toe and heel are all very maneuverable, although that's kind of a pain in some ways, sometimes more so than it is a thing to its benefit. This guy's got something kind of weird going on with this other foot, where it seems like it's maybe the metal has been molded a little wrong, the die cast, or maybe it's just kind of a little off center when it was put together or something. But it's not quite standing right. But it doesn't really affect his overall stability for the most part. He's still pretty sturdy. No, apparently the backpack isn't consistently plugged in, though. Just sometimes, as you can see. But yeah, in terms of articulation, they're pretty well articulated for what you'd want from them. In a lot of ways, you kind of just have them to be them on a shelf, I feel. But even if you did want to, like, go out of your way to get kind of crazy with the posing, you know, it probably wouldn't be that hard to get them to sturdily keep some weirder poses. But no, all around, their articulation is pretty nice, and it's very sturdy. There's no real QC issues here with the with any of the joints on any of the three. They're all nice and tight, but not too tight. Getting into accessories here, and first we've got this little tripod stand, you know, and all of these, some of these, do a little more than they look like, as is usual with a reflector. But as it stands off the bat, essentially you've just kind of got a tripod that can hold this, which is the flash, or can be a missile pod. And those can fold out so that you can have somebody hold it. And then they can also hold this separately, just by itself. We'll get back to these in a second. You've also got this lens for the camera that we kind of went over a little bit earlier. You've got a tiny camera that they can hold. I think they can hold it. And the thing that I mentioned earlier that you can swap out for the button. Now, getting into these here, we got to do a little bit of work here. So if I can get this split, this splits into 3, and then these come out of here. Come on. There we go. Those come out of there. I've got this little bit here. You can go into this and push out this little handle. Come on. And these are very tight, I will say. This is not the first time I've had some issues getting them out. Come on. Man, that's tight. There we go. But getting that out, you can plug that in there and shut this around that. You've got a little gun. You can make one of these for each of your guys. I'll be back in just a second with each of those made and the guys. All right, getting them all set up here, and they look really nice with their weapons out and everything. My final thoughts on these guys are all really mostly positive, you know. I think they look really, really, really nice. I think they feel really nice. I wish that the middle one was a little bit better quality controlled in a few places. But their articulation is all pretty well done and sturdy. None of it's too tight or too loose. You know, none of it's breaking on me or anything. They all look really good, like I said. The transformation isn't super complicated at all. I don't even know if I opened the instructions in order to transform them the first time. No. Final feelings about the KFC Opticlones are mostly positive. If they're gonna do another reissue of these guys, I know they've been out for like 8 years now, but if they're gonna do another reissue of them, I'd say that they should probably put a way for that backpack to tab in a little bit better, you know. On these side guys, they've got it set up so the bottom of these, you can see, go around that little hinge on the inside, and that keeps it on there really sturdily. I don't know why the middle one doesn't have something like that, though. I don't know if that was just not an option. If it's not, then I get it, but is what it is. All in all, they're good figures, though. I was really happy with them. All right, you guys have a good Christmas and a happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate, or Kwanzaa, you know. Whatever you do it to the best of your ability, and have a happy new year as well. All right, enjoy. Bye. Oh shit, real quick, hopping back in here to say, we are trying to get to 50 subscribers so that I can start live streaming unboxings and hopefully maybe even like some games and stuff if I can get those up and running. Or like live streaming, I also collect Gundams and I'd love to live stream myself build them. That'd be really fun. But I can't do any of that without 50 subscribers. So, if you see this, you enjoy it, like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends if you have friends who like Transformers or Gundams or other nerd stuff, you know? I plan on doing, like, podcast reviews. I'm a big Magnus Archives and Welcome to Night Vale fan as well. You know, I wanted to do some, like, recap or review shows for that. Lots going on. So there's a little idea of what could happen in the future, potentially. You guys enjoy the review. I hope you enjoyed the review, you know? I hope you guys have a really good Christmas and a really good New Year and that your work doesn't beat you into the ground. Bye.